Hey guys, MCU Collector here with the next video. This is the 8th video. This is the Build-A-Figure video on the Hasbro Marvel Legends series, Spider-Man Wave 12, Far From Home, the Molten Man Build-A-Figure. So here we go. We're going to put Molten Man together because there's a lot of pieces here. Well, there's 6 pieces like most Build-A-Figures, but there's a lot of things that are really going into it. So we get a small arm, a huge arm, we get a fat leg, a skinny leg, we have a head, and 2 torso pieces that need to come together. So I guess first thing we'll do is put the torso together, which I think that's correct. So clips on together, and then if you would have noticed, there's really a translucent orange plastic with just gold over it. So this whole thing is hollow. You could tell that's a hollow piece in there as well, but there's some crazy looking articulation that's going to come into that. So that's the overall size of the torso. So I'll do a couple of size comparisons when we get to it. I know some people have asked that they're not really getting a good view for the scale on the Molten Man Build-A-Figure. So we'll kind of go through and look at that. So here is the right leg. I'll start with the leg. So the smaller leg. All right, is that right? I don't know if that's right. Let's see. The way the head has to go on that way. So this has to be the front, even though I want to say that's the front. It's not. So, okay, so smaller leg on the right side because of the way his toe is. So, okay, so that... Oh man, the proportions of this thing are going to be so weird. Okay, we'll get the left leg. Oh my, okay, so so there's a little cut in the left leg, so this piece is going to slip right into that little slot right there on the Build-A-Figure piece, so that's really weird. Okay. Wait a second. This one has it too. See, now I'm just all kinds of confused. Alright, well, let's see. I'll put this together. What? Well, that's not right. Okay, so... that doesn't look right to me. See, this is a right leg. How is that? Okay, so I guess the torso piece was turned around inside the package. That's weird. Anyway, so I'm glad I got that figured out. We'll put the head on there. So I don't know if that's going to be an issue with everybody, but that's how it was in the package. So I had to turn that torso around for it to work and make sense. Pop the head on there, and it doesn't want to go on there for some reason. Okay, I got it on there. So it just kind of fits on there. It didn't want to go on there at first, but I got it. Now we'll get the arm. So the shorter arm is going to go on this. The smaller arm is going to go on this side. So you got the small, and then the big with the big. It's going to plug in there. Okay, this thing is just so funky. And then this melted down beam piece is going to slide into the arm here. I'll show you guys. So right here, so the beam piece is going to slip on in there, and you just kind of force it in. And here we have our Molten Man Build-A-Figure, and this thing is just so awkward. The hand has this flat piece right there on the end of his hand because that thing is going to support the Build-A-Figure itself. So you can actually see that that hand will rest on the floor when you do it. And There he is. Oh, man. It took me like 3 or 4 minutes just to build this thing. That's crazy. Okay, so my thoughts on this Build-A-Figure. I'm not a fan of it. You know, I mean, I get it, right? And it's probably going to be like that in the movie, but I'm not feeling it. I'm not. So we'll have to see how it looks in the movie. I'm not sure why it's all gold. If that's going to have something to do with it. But, you know, you look at the pop figure and it's all orange and black. That would have been cool looking like this. I don't mind so much. So it's a lot of it's probably the color choice for me. The proportions and the odd shape of the sculpt and things like that are really weird as well. So we'll just kind of have to go through. But we'll go over the articulation right now. Okay, so another thing real quick, I looked at the pictures of the Build-A-Figure, and I think he's supposed to kind of be hunched down like this. I had him standing straight up before, so you want to crunch him down to really kind of get that look, and then he has the kind of the straight looking straight on. So it's still kind of weird, but there's actually some pretty good articulation in this thing, if that's, you know, any kind of silver lining. So we'll start with the head. So the head, there's not going to be a whole lot, so you're going to get swivel that way. There's a hinge in there, and you can hinge ever so slightly. So hinge up, hinge down. So there's almost no motion in there, but it is there. This arm can actually go up that high. Let me stand up Molten Man for now. So you can get this arm to go out that far. There is a full rotation in there. You actually get an upper bicep swivel as well. A single jointed elbow. So that's straight at full bend. You're going to get it to go 90 degrees. So single jointed elbow there. This beam piece does not come off, by the way. It's fairly pliable, so it's actually glued on in there because it's very similar to the other arm with that other beam piece. And then the wrist swivels, and you have a hinge on there as well. So hinged hand, and then actually the hand can pop right on off because I think I pulled it too much. Okay, so this arm is a tricky one. So you can get it to go that far out. So not a whole lot, seeing it just wants to weigh down the figure. You can get a full rotation-ish. It's weird because this back piece really comes out further this way, so that really kind of gets in the way. So when you move it, you have to bring it out to do it. There is an upper bicep swivel on this one as well. A single jointed elbow, so there is straight bend, and full bend is about 90 degrees, maybe a little bit more, and that elbow looks a little funky because it comes out. You have this extra piece there. Again, this beam is the one that is removable. The wrist full swivel. There is a hinge in there as well, and again, there's that flat part because you're going to have to use this arm to help support the weight of this Build-A-Figure. Now the torso piece has a couple of different joints into it. So this one's kind of a rubber piece in the center here. So from a crunch standpoint, it can go like that from there to there, which isn't a whole lot, and there's not really a lot of pivot in there, and you do get a slight turn, not a whole lot in there. Now this next piece, you could see it could crunch down that far and go that far back, so there's a lot of movement in there. You get a great pivot to the side there, a great pivot to the other side as well, and then you can get a full turn in there. See, and that was what threw me off on mine for the legs. So that would, I guess, kind of be a waist swivel. The legs can go out that far apart, which is actually pretty good. Of course, upper thigh cut, because that's where the Build-A-Figure connects. So you get a single jointed knee, which gives you that much bend on the right leg. You get a foot that hinges all the way down, foot that hinges all the way up, and you do have ankle pivot on the right. The left, you do have the upper thigh cut there. Single jointed knee as well, so you have the leg there, and it gets you there. So about a 90 degree. The foot is much flatter, so there is a hinge in there. I'm not sure what good use it's going to be, so you can go from there to there, which I don't know. It's weird. You don't get any back motion in there, but there is an ankle pivot on that thing. Scott, so this thing, it's just so awkward. So I don't really like it, but you know, it's an MCU figure, and I love movie figures. That's, You know, that's like my main thing. But I really don't like the way this looks. Now, surprisingly great articulation for what it is. It's just the design is weird, and it's just awkward and bulky and weird. I'm saying weird a lot, but I don't know. Still pretty good. Let's see some size comparisons. Okay, so first up is the red and black suit Spider-Man. So you can see that is a huge size difference there. We'll also look at the other Spider-Man figure. Here's the stealth suit compared to the Molten Man Build-A-Figure. You can see big size difference there. Okay, and here is the size difference between Mysterio, and you can see it's still a huge size difference, and I'm sure that these two will share screen time, because my thoughts is that Mysterio is still behind all the elementals in the first place. Whether that's true or not, I don't know yet, but that's just kind of what I think is going to happen. We shall see. Okay, so here he is next to the new Hulk Build-A-Figure, and you can see that Molten Man is actually about the same height. Now, Molten Man is crunched down a little bit, so if we're doing full, straight up standing, let's see. Yeah, they're about right at the same height or so. Yeah, so but Molten Man and Hulk are about the same size, I would say. It's just, you know, depending on how you get Molten Man to stand up is really how you're gonna... God, he's so awkward. He wants to fall down. He's the way he's weighted. Let me see that arm. That hand needs to be on touching the floor to get him to see. But Molten Man, he stands better when he's hunched down to make him shorter than Hulk. But if he were standing straight up, you know, he's just under the same height as Hulk, so it's really, 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 really close. So you can see there. Here he is next to Thanos, and you can see that they are about the same height as well. So when you have Molten Man kind of crunched down a little bit, you can see that he stands just about as tall as the armored Thanos figure. So good size comparison there. Okay, so again, final thoughts. It's okay. He's a good size, you know, for a Build-A-Figure. He is a larger Build-A-Figure, which, you know, we hate when we get small Build-A-Figures. So we have him. He's a good size. Hopefully, you know, he'll be great in the movie, and we'll kind of have to see how that is, and that'll really kind of play out how it's going to work out. The gold is what's really not working for me, so we'll see how how it looks in the movie. Now, one thing I'm going to do, and I don't have like the finger lights and all these things that other collectors do for their displays and their ACBA shots and all those things, but because it is the translucent orange and some of it's actually exposed, you can see that you can actually get some light shining through that. So I'm going to show you guys that right now. Okay, so it's all dark, so nothing special, but I'm just going to put my cell phone flashlight behind it, and you could see how it looks. So if we had like a black instead of the gold and like a bright orange, I would have liked it a whole lot. You know, even the shoulder kind of shows through a little bit, but that's really it. So the torso, that shoulder right there, the other shoulder a little bit as well. And let's see the leg. Leg not so much, but the torso. So I like the black and the orange look to it. But you know, that's really not how it's going to be. So it's pretty cool. So if you can work a light in there or right behind it so it'll shine through, that'd be pretty cool. But you guys let me know down in the comments below. What do you guys think of this? What do you think of the design? Are you guys going to pass on it? For you MCU guys, what are your thoughts? Because comic, I know you guys are probably going to hate this thing. But you guys let me know down in the comments below your guys' thoughts. And then let's do a ranking. So I'm not going to count the Build-A-Figure. He definitely would not be my number one, whereas most Build-A-Figures are. I would say from a ranking standpoint in the wave, my number one is going to be Mysterio. Number two will be Scorpion. Number three, Black and Red Spider-Man. Number four, Hydro Man. Number five, Stealth Suit Spider-Man. Number six, Doppelganger. Number seven, the Julia Carpenter Spider-Woman. It's just, I wasn't familiar with the character. It's the standard basic female figure that we get over and over again. It does look good, but it's not for me, whereas I'm familiar with, you know, the other figures, or had seen them in like the cartoons, had old Toy Biz figures of Actually, old Toy Biz figures. That one. I don't think I had a Mysterio when I was a kid. So that was my review. So was it ranking? So Mysterio, Scorpion, Black and Red, Hydro Man, Stealth Suit, Doppelganger, Spider Woman. If I were to include the Build-A-Figure, he would be probably before Doppelganger. It's just, it is what it is. If you guys liked the video, please hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you haven't already done so. And as always, guys, thank you for watching.